if you act on the things you're learning, then definitely the year will be different. If you learn and you don't act, the year may be worse. But if you act, if you learn and you act, then the year may actually be different. So this particular session actually came from that premise. It's important to help a lot of women work on these things and really bring clarity to what they do. And why is that important? Because really, a woman's life is full, a woman's life is compact, a woman's life many times is complex. And she more often will say, oh, that she doesn't have time, she's this, that. But clearly, if you do the work, the reflective work properly, you find out that you can achieve what you want to achieve and still have it all. You don't need to give up one part of your life for the other. You can have it all. And because we've been built to be extraordinary, really. So thank you so much. My name is Lady Akoma Onyemelokwe, and I'm the convener, and I'm excited. And today I'll be speaking with Faith Afolabi. This is the Visioning Clinic, and it's a virtual workshop, but we're very conscious that many women are very busy. So we've limited it to 1 hour. The idea is that we will have a hand-holding session within the WhatsApp group that we have just developed. The next step for this, we'll do it on the WhatsApp group. The reason is we want to handhold you, review the things you've thought through, answer your questions, and really have great interaction in the next 2 weeks, getting you ready for the year. The year has started, but we need to build the ship as we go. Thank you. Okay, so welcome to everyone, beautiful ladies who are here. Women are the best people I know, the best creatures of God that I know. And I don't know whether you know any other, but I know that women are extraordinary. Women are people God have created in a unique way. This clinic is organized on the platform of the Women in Leadership Global. And Women in Leadership Global will be sharing what we're about. So I would like Lola to just read the profiles, and then we will continue so that we'll get to know who our speakers are, who we are. Then I also will be happy to know where you're logging in from. Are you logging in from Abuja? Are you logging in from Canada? Are you logging in from the US? Are you logging in from Enugu? Are you logging in from Kano? Where are you logging in from? So you just put in your name and where you're logging in from. That will really be useful. Thank you. Can Loyola unmute her mic and then read the citations? Thank you.
All right. Sorry. So the first profile I'll be using here is that of our convener, Lady Akoma Onyemelokwe. He is a transformational strategist, a system thinker, and a reformer, a leadership architect whose work is at the intersection of non-profit sustainability, funding systems, leadership development, governance, policy, and gender inclusion across Africa. She is also a sector leader with sectoral experience in health, education, governance, humanitarian emergencies, and the media. She is founder, director of multiple firms. Lady Akoma is a member of the prestigious John Maxwell leadership team that builds leaders globally. Associate member of the WIMBIE, she consults for leading organizations globally. Lady Akoma is passionate about women leadership, and children, and drives support through various channels. Heard Africa, Women in Leadership Global. Lady Akoma is a member of Rotary International, a Paul Harris Fellow. Akoma is a member of the Executive Board of Rotarians Against Malaria Action Group Global, RAM Global, and a co-chair of the Grant Committee of RAM, an alumnus of University of Lagos, Nigeria. University of Liverpool, and School of Politics, Policy and Governance, and Harvard University School of Public Health, Boston. Founder of Women in Leadership Global, she authored the Women in Leadership Journal, helping many women in developing and sustaining their leadership journey. Thank you.
Thank
I'll be
you.
reading the second profile of our speaker, which is Mrs. Faith Afolabi. Faith Afolabi is a leader who brings over a decade of experience working in international development and private sector roles, where she contributed to the transformation of lives of the most vulnerable, systems reforms across sectors, including health, through series of program leadership actions, extensive experience in social enterprise and corporate social responsibility, trained and certified by Enterprise Development Center, EDC, affiliated to Lagos Business School, Lagos, Nigeria. She is a certified project management professional, founder of an online human resource contributing to HR placement and employability. Diversifying, she is a certified Black Beauty hair braided ABB loctician and author of books, podcaster of a first speaking English children's Bible story on the Spotify app. She is happily married with children.
Sorry, I see that our networks are all going in and out. Okay, so we'll continue. Thank you so much for those profile. We will put those profile on the WhatsApp group in case you want to read that profile more and get a better feel of the speakers. Thank you very much for participating that empower women to lead with confidence, competence, and impact. If you have confidence and you don't have competence, there's a gap. Then if you do all that and you don't also focus on impact, then you'll just be making. Our vision is to have the innovate equitably. So at every level of society, in every point, shaping policy, driving innovation, governance, and inspiring the future generations. So we will exchange leadership experience and challenges and solutions, from diverse cultures. We have people from everywhere, and we have experiences that we will nurture. So together we aim to break barriers to women leadership. And you don't break barriers without knowledge. So knowledge is key. You break barriers also with network, with systems, with a will and the right mindset. We champion, equality, inclusion, and representation. We build a global sisterhood that uplifts and empowers and inspires. So you become part of a movement bigger than yourself, a movement where women lead boldly, transform communities, and shape the future. So what's the purpose of this visioning clinic? Really, we exist to create a safe, guided, transformational space where women leaders pause, reflect, and intentionally define the future they want to lead in. So in 2026, you're taking time through this, to pause and reflect about leadership. We're not talking about you leading all that. So it's to help women clarify their personal and translate that as a leader. You articulate a compelling leadership and life vision. You identify and release limiting beliefs and patterns. And you also align your values, purpose, and goals and move from certainty, burnout, and transition into focus and confidence. Any questions? We looked at your expectations. Many people had some expectations that were very clear. They wanted to, see the direction they will go this year. Some others wanted to align motherhood and their professional life. Some others just wanted some level of clarity on what to do. So these are all important elements that you will get from this visioning clinic. And this visioning clinic will give you tools that you could use, that you will use to reflect and answer questions and come up with the priorities. It is you who will do the work. Nobody will do it for you. The idea is that people will provide you information, opportunities, templates, and tools, but you know your reality more than anyone else. So at the end, you will have strategic focus areas for this year, which is your next season. We will have a group on what ask you to please join, ask questions, feedback, which you can use, and then you would the right mindset. For the right mindset, you will not get the right results. So it has to be right mindset, right timing, right attitude, okay, right knowledge for you to get the right results. So what's the vision? You need to know that you can actually create a vision for yourself. You don't need anybody one. You can create that this year. What you want to be this year. Who are you becoming? That's a vision. Okay? You want to be that woman, that solid woman who says what she will do and she does it. It can be as small as that. You must want to be that woman who is consistent. You start something, you consistently do it from beginning to the end. The right mindset means you're positive. You know you can do it. All the time, you'll think about yourself from a value perspective where you know that you're what you're aiming at. Okay? At all times, you're positive about your mindset, you're clear. And then you have the creative ability and why it's important to you. You have the ability to create anything you want. God has created us in his image and his likeness, and he's giving us that same ability. To create the future you want, you can create it. Nothing will limit you, except only what you see. So what you get with the right mindset is your ability to create the person you want to be. And it is you and it is your life. It is nobody else's life. So if you decide not to do it in the next 22 years, it is still your life. At the end, it is you living your life. You may have said, oh, some people say, oh, I lived it for my children. Yes, you did. They are very, very grateful. But you know the point, they will live their lives, not yours. And they will not give up their lives for yours. As sad as it sounds, but that's the truth. So the earlier you begin, the better. And there is no late time. So if, for instance, you've done a bit of that and you're here now, this is an opportunity. And then there are core areas in your life where you must vision. There are core areas, your areas of well-being, your career, your business, your spiritual life, okay, your health. These are areas, your relationships. These are areas of that you should set vision for. Set your vision. So you basically, in doing this, what we're creating is we're creating a space where we can reflect and empower each other, and move from survival to an intentional thinking mode. When you start visioning with the right mindset, you will see that anything that someone throws at you, the first thing you ask yourself, how does this thing take me to my vision? It doesn't take you to your vision. You politely ignore. You politely decline. Okay? And what that does for you is that at all times, you're taking the higher call. Everything that will add to your vision, to you achieving your vision, is what you will do. And you will be intentional. And being intentional means that you will no longer strive. It's not just, hey, I don't know how we will do this. So I don't know. Hey, they say this one is happening. But you know intentionally that you've worked on a path and that you're on that path. And when you're on that path, you're clear about it. So you have personal intentions. You set personal intentions from this clinic. Please, I hope you have a notebook and a pen and you're able to take some notes down. So these are questions you will ask yourself. Who are you? Okay? Some people will say, I know who I am. Yes. But who exactly are you? How do you truly feel entering this space, entering 2026? Did you feel very excited, or were you dejected because you felt 2025 didn't work? How do you feel today, physically, emotionally, and mentally? Do you feel physically healthy, physically strong, physically put together, emotionally stable, mentally stable? So those feelings are feelings you need to sit down and recognize them and write them down. You don't wave them aside. we have to slow down and review certain. What feels heavy and unclear, out of balance? It could be your finances you really want. That's really, and your leadership look like, if you can draw it, and this is an experience. Please, I need you to either take a snapshot of this and answer these questions as part of your right mindset. So, but you cannot do visioning properly without understanding who you are, your own values and your priority. Remember that you are you, and everyone else who knows you just learns from you. Nobody knows you more than you know yourself. Okay? You know yourself. You know you have the capacity to change. Some people will say, I know you, and they will throw things at you. You will laugh because you know that if you really make up your mind to change or to do something different, you can do it because you have a creative ability. So clearly knowing what truly matters about you, that's where we are now. So there are critical elements of knowing what matters about is gaining and maintaining. Oh, this my maintaining has an error. Maintaining clarity on what's your value. If you don't have values, you fall for anything. Some of us don't, and we've not had values all our lives. But you can actually, from today, actually articulate values and you live by it. Your strengths and your priorities. Having insight into the existing misalignments that's causing you confusion or burnout. There are things you do. I have to do it for public sake because of what they will say. Okay, what they will say, but you forget that people really don't even remember a lot about you. Once you're in the once you're off the public eye and all that, people are engrossed in their own lives. So you have to live your values. It's when you live your values that people around you respect you and your boundaries are clear. So values and expectation, their values, societal values, family, workplace. Many women carry invisible expectation. Okay, so they expect you to be prim and proper. They expect you to be this and that. There are societal definitions of success. Some societal definition of success. Oh, she's married, she has children, or she has a PhD, or whatever. You know, there are so many definitions of it. Or they live abroad, or they live in Nigeria, they live in an upstairs, or whatever. You know, so those things, there are family roles, okay, and also cultural norms that also give you a lot of that are really expectations, and work norms and engendered leadership standards. So in some organization, they will say certain level of work is only for men. It's not for women. Who said so? We all have the same brain. We went to the same school, okay? And God, the same God created us, and he made us male and female. So clearly, in knowing what is true, what truly matters, you gain, self-awareness, and it reduces guilt and people pleasing. Once you stop pleasing people, you now recognize how to please yourself. Clearer boundaries and leadership confidence. For example, some people, their office demand that they have to wear a certain kind of clothes. It has to be slim, prim and proper, tight looking skirts. Who says that? But you prefer to wear things that are freer. Why don't you wear what is freer? Nobody remembers, and then you say, this is my brand. This is what I like to wear. When people see you, they see you, this is what you like to wear. You wear what you love to wear. If you love to wear dresses, if you love to wear trousers, whatever it is, boo-boo, whatever, you wear it. You love to wear bright colors or dark colors. Yes, I know some workplaces insist you wear some kind of colors, but when you're out of those workplaces, you should live a life that clearly defines you. Are you able to clarify your boundaries? If you don't clarify your boundaries, anybody can trample on you. And people treat you the way you treat yourself. So knowing what truly matters, these are questions that could help with it. What expectations most influence your decision today? What expectations most influence your decision today? Is it the expectation that you expected to tie your hair to church? Or is it the expectation that you expected to always be in a particular location at every time? Or is it the expectation that you're always expected to be seen as a good mom? even when you're tired, and you can't say, oh, I'm tired, I need to, you guys can fix something, let me just sleep. No. So what expectation most influence your decision today? Or expectation that your in-laws need to, or expectation that, so what's that expectation? You have to be able to name it. You can't say, I don't know. Okay, what expectations feel heavy and restrictive and misaligned for you? So where am I living according to others' approval rather than my own values? What expectations align with my values and which do not? So you need to have a value map. Your values, okay? Your values. So your values, what are values? Your values actually are things you live by, the principles you live by. Authenticity is part of my values. I like to be authentic. I like to be my authentic self. I don't have any room for pretense. There's no such room. Okay? And then if I am where I have to consistently pretend, then I have to leave that place, because I don't want to start, getting into things that are not there. There are also people who are timely. There are also people that are very organized. That's their value. So if something that is not organized comes their way, they are always like, excuse me. Okay. There are people also that are transparent, they are honest, they are truthful. And that's an important value. Okay. And so you need to know what your values are and list expectations placed on you. What expectations placed on you? Some people, the expectation is that you're a prim and proper female. You can't laugh. You can't just open your mouth and laugh, ha 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 ha, and feel free. Some others will tell you, oh, there's etiquette. Those things are true. There's etiquette and all that. You find out that they can't really be free. They are consistently being teleguided, kind of. So what expectations are placed on you? Please write. Don't keep it till tomorrow. Start writing them down. List them down. List at least 5, 6 expectations. They may be expectations from family, from job, from society, from work, from your own upbringing, which are strongholds. So these are it. So where do these things overlap? Where do they conflict? Then what are you ready to renegotiate, really, or release? Those expectations that no longer serve you, that have made you to shrink, that have made you to cower, that have made you feel very uncomfortable. So for example, there are people that they feel to be a proper mom, you have to always wear long skirts. No, that's not it. Some others feel that you have to speak in a certain way, or this or that. No, these are society. You have to just be yourself, be decent, and clear about who you are at all times. I don't know whether we have questions. So leadership is most suitable when it is built around your strengths. I told you that leadership is not just about other people, it's about you. Self-leadership, leading you to be who you want to become, leading you to become that sharp, excellent, innovative, inspiring woman, to become that empowered, equipped, enabled woman, and it's fueled by your passion. What are you passionate about? And protected by your energy awareness. So it's important to identify what energizes you, what gives you energy. What are you naturally good at? And where does your passion and impact intersect? These are the things. So some of these questions are questions that have helped me. So I look at activities that make me feel alive or engaged. What people do consistently, what do people consistently come to me for? A lot of people come to me for training, for speaking opportunity. Some come to me for strategy, and mentoring and those kind of things. When do I lose track of time because I'm deeply engaged? When I'm running training. So please, I hope somebody's tracking my time. So what drains me, even when I'm successful at it? What drains you? Some people, what drains you is really expectation, living up to expectation. You see that it's draining you, even if you are doing everything possible and you are successful in it, but you've lost yourself. So this is an exercise that can help you. Make a list of your daily activities or role. Which ones energize you? Which one drains you? Which one are neutral? So those ones that are neutral, if you do them well, they can energize you. If you do them poorly, they can actually also become a drain. So where does your strength and passion and positive intersect? That's where do they come together? And then how can you lead more from the point of this intersection in this year? If you take some time and do this analysis, you will see that one, you will increase your self-trust. Because, for example, if something drains you, let's say something that energizes you, like maybe it's to write a report, and something that drains you is to do presentation, prepare slides. What is neutral is reading emails. You find out that if you have a report to do, you will do it very fast. And it will increase your self-trust on yourself because you know these things are things that you can do. So you have clear insights on your leadership and direction for your role design, and then boundaries. Sometimes those things are thickly. And if there are questions, you want us to take questions? Are there questions? Please do a thumbs up if you're getting what I'm saying, if it's adding value to you, if you're writing. On our WhatsApp group, we will drop this presentation so you can take time on your own and go through this and prepare this. These are things you need to do. Actually, you need to do them in December before the new year. But since we're here now, it's also okay. And next year, you will do it maybe in November before the new year, and you will find a lot of answers, and you will also see the progress you've made. So you need to uncover invisible habits, commitments and patterns that drain your energy, that drain your focus and purpose, often without conscious awareness. Some is for social media, some is Z World, is TV. They are watching TV, and not everything draining is obvious. Not everything matters. So you need to take a hang of it and organize it in such a way that make room and not overcommit. You're already thinking about it. It's your relationships. You have friends that, and each time after seeing yourself more, because they're always telling you of the things you're not doing well, of the things that are not this, and you keep comparing. Those things are not helpful. They're unaligned relationships. You must have relationships that add to you. You must have relationships that, and you must categorize your relationship. Yes, there are relationships where you're the one giving. You have younger people, you have people who are not up to your level, they are poor and all that. You give to them. Yes, they are. But I'm talking about relationships that add value to you as a woman, that prepares you as a professional, that prepares you as a woman in a committed relationship, marriage or whatever, that prepares you in that way. So they must be aligned. They should not be relationships that are then digital overload. Your phone is full of all kinds of stuff. You're always on Facebook. You're always on. You don't have a time when you say no. For me, for instance, I made a rule. I can't be on my phone before 5 a.m. Can't happen. It cannot happen. So I wake up, I spend the first 60 minutes, this first 1 hour, doing other things. By 5, I get on my phone because I have to lead prayer. Okay? Then 1 hour to the time you need to go to bed, no phone. And perfectionism, you say, well, you can't do it as past 1 year. We noticed that I had an ebook that I launched last year. I wrote what consumes your time. Where do I say yes out of guilt or fear? What mental or emotional pattern drains me silently? What distraction keeps me busy but not fulfilled? So it's for you to answer this question and be truthful. If you're not truthful to yourself, you're doing yourself a disservice because it is you. So I would like to see what you answer in some of these in the next coming days. So this is the exercise you will do. You list the possible distractions and drain and say, why do I keep this distraction? What's the cost to me? Positive and negative costs to you. What needs to change and how? So the things that need to change means that you have to have key actions you must take. If you make a decision and you're not taking actions around it, it's not going to work. So for me, for instance, I now rely on the Holy Spirit to wake me up at a certain time. My phone, I keep it in my study. I don't keep it in my room. I keep it in my study. Really. So reclaiming your focus. So what will shift if you remove just one major drain? If you remove Facebook, spending trolling hours on Facebook or Instagram, what will happen? What you can do is that you can set a timer, 5 minutes at most, or 15 minutes per day, daily limit, and that will help you. So when you do this, you see that you have greater clarity and focus on what you want to achieve this year, who you need to be, because you've removed drains. You now understand what your strengths are, okay, and your priorities. So when we talk about knowing what truly matters, what will you protect this year? What will you prioritize? And what will you release? You release your drains in order to lead with clarity and intention. So one of the things I did this year was I told myself I'll read the Bible cover to cover. I'm on it. It's not easy, but I'm on it. I'll read a book a month. So every morning you find me, I read 10 pages. If I don't read it, I will read it before I go to bed. That's it. So that in 1 month, I would have finished the book. So let's say the book has 100 pages and I read 10 pages a day. Okay? And that helps. What does that do to you? Your books become mentors, and also it sharpens your brain work. So when you understand yourself, you have clear awareness. This is who I am. This is my values. I'm authentic. This is how I like to look. I like to wear things that are comfortable to me. I like to look in a certain way. If you're a woman who likes to do makeup, do makeup. It makes you happy. Please do it. Okay? I like to keep my hair long. I like to keep my hair short. Whatever that is. Those are important. Your appearance is an important part. Okay? If, for example, you also want to lose weight, this is the year to do it. You start. You don't wait for anything. You just start. Don't procrastination. So you have to work on maybe 3 major habits that you can work on. And in the next 1 month, you will be consistent with it. Just 3 at a time. I'm not even saying more than that. You identify, understand your values and your priority. Who is writing? So this is clarity. Is there any questions? Let me run through that because I need to give. So visioning is seeing the future clearly. So vision is the clear picture of the future you're intentionally moving towards. What's your vision for 2026? Okay, they are short and long vision. And there's a difference between your dream and vision and your goal. So it's necessary to clarify between it. Your dream is an aspiration. Your vision is a direction. Your goal is action. Okay, and if you have a dream and you don't have a vision, how will you implement it? How will you bring the dream to light? You must have vision and goal. So for you to really do it well, what dreams have you lived in your heart without structure? You want to be a global speaker, a woman who can speak globally. You want to, is it? So what now, this year, what goals currently support my vision? Madam Faith will speak more on the goals and goal setting. What this does, this gives you mental clarity. Mental clarity. I have always had a dream to be a global speaker and be a global leader in the things that I do in international development and management. And that has been a dream for me. So what is my vision? My vision is really to walk it through this year. So vision is essential and you can have short-term or long-term. Okay, and short-term vision could be 1 to 3 years or 10 years. Long-term could be 5 to 10 years. So it's required that a woman leader must think in seasons. You must think in seasons. So, okay, so your short-term choice is important for your long-term calling. If you make all the wrong choices, it cannot lead you to that dream that you want, that vision that you want. So these are the core life domains. I mentioned some of them before. Personal growth is part of it, but you can find out that personal growth is in all of these domains. And what is personal growth? Personal growth is where you're molding yourself to become that excellent person you need to be. You're a timely person, you're a truthful person, you're a friendly person, you're a loving person. Okay, you're a person who finishes things. So vision must be integrated and not just compartmentalized. When you compartmentalize it, you then have fragmentations. You then have, after some time, you'll be overwhelmed and confused. Yeah, but I don't know whether there are questions. Is there anyone here who has a question?
She said there are questions in the chat box.
Okay. So please continue. Let me start looking at them.
Okay, thank you so much. Thank you for that presentation. I learned a lot. These are just a few things of what I learned. You can have it all as a woman to be extraordinary. Value systems, you have expectations, know your life core domain, eliminate time wasters that distracts you from reaching your goals for your vision. Categorize your relationship, reduce time wasting activities, release your dreams. We are all called for a purpose, and that's why God called us. That's why we're born into this earth, to fulfill purpose. So I will continue from where Lady Akoma stopped. And goal setting are those actions that you take to accomplish your vision. What is your vision? Your vision are pictures you see. You want to relocate abroad. You want to run a business. You want to own a business. You want to go to school. You want to lose weight. These are pictures. You have your picture perfect dreams. We all have that. But there's a saying that says, if wishes were, I tell my kids, if wishes were horses, beggars will ride. So you can say, oh, Mom, I want to own a PS4. Mom, I want to lose weight. What are those goals that you have set? God's word says, I will stand at my watch and station myself on the rampart. I will look to see what he will say to me and what answer I am to give to this complaint. Then the Lord replied, write down the revelation. In other words, the vision, make it plain on tablets, put it on your wall, put it on stick-on note, make your vision board so that you may run with it. For those of us that are Christians, this is biblical. God wants us to put things down. The shortest pencil is better than the longest memory. That's what I'll tell my kids. So it is important for us to have that vision. You can use your computer to develop yours. You can use your phone. However you want to, just have it there and you can print it out and put on your wall. Then you need your goals. And that is what I'm going to focus on today. How do we set our goals? We've all heard about goal setting over and over again, but it's important that we reiterate this. And that's why we have this vision clinic. So I'll go to my next slide. I can't see my, okay. Can we see it? Can we see my next slide? Hello? Are we there?
Yes, I can see your slide.
Okay, so what can
Please,
you
if you're here, can you do a thumbs up on the chat box so we know that you're able to hear us?
Okay, good. Lola has a thumbs up. That's admin. I want to see a thumbs up from people from the audience. Okay, thank you. So my dream was to own a lock salon in Nova Scotia. I live in Canada, precisely in Nova Scotia. I'm also a social worker. I work part-time. I'm married. I have 2 kids. So it's very busy for me. For me to achieve my goals, I need to have a vision and set my goals. Otherwise, it will all just going to be everywhere for me, and I cannot afford to lose track of the things I desire. And the many things I do part-time, everything I do is part-time. I'm in school, I'm a social worker, I work part-time, I run my business part-time, I'm a mom full-time, I'm a sister, I'm a wife, a colleague. So there's so much distractions out there. So my dream was to own a lock salon in Nova Scotia, and here's how I went from having a vision to starting it up in my business, in my house. Now, what is goal setting? Goal setting is a process of defining what you want to achieve, the goal, the vision, and creating a clear, actionable plan with specific step, timelines, measures to guide your motivation, focus, behavior towards the desired outcome, turning vague desires, all those big things that we want to do, into tangible results through structured efforts, progress tracking. It is a roadmap for personal, spiritual, or professional growth, helping you focus on what matters, build your confidence as you succeed. Oftentimes using framework like SMART goals, we've heard that a lot. What are SMART goals? Specific, measurable, achievable, relevant, and time bound. So goal setting roadmap according to John Maxwell. He says it helps us to achieve our vision board. Also, your goal must align with your purpose. Be within your personal control and follow a specific framework. Now, Maxwell uses the acronym roadmap to outline his approach to success and goal attainment. He says, recognize your dream. Akoma has talked about that in her slides. Observe your starting place. Where are you at this point in time? You want to travel to Canada. Do you know the requirements for traveling to Canada? Have you done your exam? Have you done your research? Where are you at that time? Do you have the funding? So observe that starting point. Articulate a statement of purpose. What is your statement of purpose? I could say that is also your mission statement. What do you want to achieve in life? If you haven't attended any life skill sections, all that, I think you need to attend. Maybe on the WhatsApp group, we'll expand more on that on another section. Start from there first to define your vision if we don't have one. And it's okay if you don't have one, but we can start from today. Define your goals, which is what we're talking about now. Move into action. Adjust your plan. You can always adjust it. If you get to the end of December and you haven't achieved what you set at the beginning, it's okay. Continue from where you stop. Don't say, okay, now I'm throwing away that vision. I'm starting a new one. No. My reality, I said I wanted to own a salon right from when I was a teenager. I've always said that. What did I do along the way? I didn't start doing anything active until 3 years ago. That is when I started all the plans. And now I have my salon set up in my basement. It's a small space, but it's set up. It's going on. I have a registered business name and all that. So point to success and celebrate. For you to create that vision, write it down somewhere. It's a success for you. So celebrate it. If someone asks you, well, do you have a vision board? You have a goal? Yes, I have. It might be small on a sticky note. It's something. Celebrate it. At least you've moved from point A to point B. Next. So also, Maxwell stated that once a person has a clear purpose statement, they are ready to define goals. These are goals act as points of reference on your roadmap and must possess specific qualities to be effective. So it has to be written down. Goals must be written down. However you want to write it, with a pencil, with a pen, fancy on your laptop, use a Canva app, use AI, it has to be written down. Write the vision down as God has told us in his book of Habakkuk. The goal must be within your power to accomplish personally. You cannot set a goal for someone else to change their behavior as you have no control over their action. I can't set goals for my kids, but I can guide them because they're still under my tutorage. Because sometimes they don't know. So we can help them. But for you as an adult, you have to be the one to set that goal for yourself. Then it must be highly detailed, clearly defined what you want to accomplish. We're going to see examples of goals as we go on in the slide. It must be achievable, realistic within your ability to achieve through hard work and dedication. I didn't get to where I am with just playing and sleeping, waking up. I put in the work. There were times I didn't have weekends to myself. I would go for classes for good 6 months, Saturdays and Sunday from 1 to 4 p.m. to get to school to learn how to be a hairstylist, a black-owned hairstylist, and get my license. So I lost some time. I lost some time. It was difficult, but I went through it, and now I'm here today. It must be measurable. There must be a way to track progress, evaluate whether the goal has been met or not. Goals need deadlines or target dates to guide timely completion and create urgency. Okay, another person we know, Brian Tracy, is also big on leadership. He also focuses on setting SMART goals, which is the one we all know, which is specific, measurable, achievable, relevant, and time-bound. Across key life areas like your career, your finance, personal development, your family, health, spirituality, using a structured hierarchy. Why? Why do you want to do that? How do I do that? What am I doing? Prioritizing with methods like the ABCD system to create clear, actionable plan for success. There's more online if you want to know about that. Then why? You ask yourself why? Why am I setting those goals? You have a family. What are your core values and what is life purpose? If you don't have those goals, then you probably don't have that perfect vision that you want to achieve for your family. How? Your career, your finances. This means to achieve your why. Okay. What includes your personal, professional development, the learning skills needed to support the how. So you want to be a lecturer. How? You have to develop yourself personally. Sorry, the what is you have to develop yourself personally. You have to go to school, sign up for the courses, maybe education, take professional courses. You also need the money. That's the how to fund that vision. And why do you want to do that? For your family, for your community? And there are 7 areas of your life to ensure balance that you set in goals. So if you're saying, okay, I don't know where to set my goals, you can set goals for your spiritual life, your finances, your career, your intellectual ability. Let's say you want to write books, set a goal on how to write a book. What are the outlines? If you want to write a book, what are the outlines for that storybook? How many chapters do you want to have? What are the plots? Do you want to do a book on African setting or international setting or fictional? You have to have those set in. Health and wellness, you want to lose weight, your family, social. So these are all areas that you can set goals for. Next slide. Okay, so this is an example of a goal. Like we've all been talking about goals. So what does it look like? This is just one, personal development. You want to learn, you want to develop yourself personally. So example, like Akoma said, she wants to be reading book. So she wakes up in the morning. If she doesn't read it during the day, she ensures she reads 10 pages. It's 100 pages, right? You have to read 10 pages of that book daily. Within how many days? Maybe 100 days, and you get that done, dusted. So read 12 book in 12 months. You can see it's smart. It has numbers in it. It has timeline. It's narrowed down to basic Spanish in 6 months. It's time specific. So it's looking smart. So when you tell people that you want to, sorry, I'm not seeing my slide. Can you see my slide? I think I removed it or something. Can you all see my slide?
Yes, we can.
Oh, okay. I cannot see it from my end. I don't know what's happening. Okay.
Skills, habit.
Okay. All right. Okay. So you cannot say, I want to learn how to speak languages. What kind of languages? Spanish in 6 months. So it's specific, it's time bound, it's in 6 months, and it's measurable. Complete a 30-day creative writing challenge. Take an online finance course. It's specific, it's not in person, it's online. So you go online on Google. Are you going to Coursera? Are you going to Allison? Are you going to Wellbeing sites? So this is already specific. So if you send it to me as a, let's say, your accountability partner, I can see you want to complete a 30-day creative writing challenge. Take an online finance course. My next question will be, how many pages do you want to write in a day? So you could say, okay, I want to write 1 page per day. So in 30 days, I'm done doing that course. Then your habits, start a gradual journal. Wake up 5 minutes earlier before breakfast for 2 weeks. So these are examples of the personal development goals. There are many more examples online. I don't want to take much of our time, so I'll be moving to the next slide because I want to really share an example of the goals I have in order for me to set up my salon business. So why SMART goals aren't enough for leaders? We've had those SMART goals, we've talked about it, but why is it not enough? It has to be inspiring. It has to be you. It has to be what you love to do. If they wake you up and say, get up and make someone's hair, you can do it. Sometimes I can always make people's hair and say, okay, I'm not collecting cash. And I'm happy doing it because at the end of the day, I have a happy client. They have a happy hair. They are smiling as they're leaving. They're happy. They're elated. They're elevated. I'm not just doing it because I want to make money. Of course it is, but it has to go beyond making money. What brings them back? Because there are many more salons out there for them to go to. But when they come to my salon, my space already inspires them. It's neat, it's clean. They are looking for a place for them to relax. So it's like a relaxation spot. I'll ask you, do you want to play music? Do you want this? Do you want coffee? Anything you want, just make you feel like customer service. For me, you have to be inspired. I'm not just making your hair because I want money, because there are many other salons. So as leaders, women leaders, our vision, our goals has to be inspiring to us and for others. It has to be aligned, not just being measurable. It has to be sustainable, not just achievable. Everybody can set up salon in their house these days. You can set up your business, but how sustainable is it going to be? These are going to be those structures that you put in place so that if you're not there, it can run by itself. I don't have a staff yet, but these are things I need to put if I want this to be sustainable, because I'm not getting any younger. Yes, I'm young. By God's grace, I speak positive. So the question for you today is, does your goal light you up and fit the reality of your life, your leadership, and season? This is something for you to think about in just 30 seconds. So my story, owning a salon was a dream. Making it a reality required a new kind of goal setting framework. And here we go. Yes, so step one, the why, deep dive. Your goals, foundation, uncovering the core why. I think Lady Akoma mentioned something like this in her presentation. So in 2 minutes, ask yourself 3 times to get to your emotional core. I want to own a locks salon, a salon that make locks for people. I have locks. A lot of people braid hair, a lot of people perm hair, but I decided to say specifically, this is what I want to do. It's not like I cannot braid your hair, I can. But if people call me, they call FA, what? Oh, the loctician. Yes, that's my goal. It inspires me. It makes me happy. Why? To create a safe space, to be beautiful space for my community, to celebrate Black beauty and culture in Nova Scotia. Why? To build a legacy that is and belonging. My daughter has an interest for making hair. In future, she probably might want to. Like, people ask me why. I said, my mom used to own a salon when I was a teenager. We ran that for a while. She was also a teacher. She's retired now, and back home in Nigeria. So she owned a salon for a certain period of time. Not just salon, she had sewing, she had she did sewing as well. But that one piqued my interest. And I said things. I said, in future, this is what I want to do. So words are powerful. What you say today will determine where you go to tomorrow. Mark my words. I'm sure you're where you are because of what you said in the past. So if you are where you are at this point and you don't like where you are, start saying things, start speaking your future. I want to live in this type of house. Start saying it, because I've seen it come to pass. I think I'm digressing a bit, but I need to say this for someone out there listening to me. Start saying positive things, because it works. Words are powerful. The world we are in today, we're created by the words of God. He said, let there be light, and there was, and so it happened. Let's take away. Your deep why is the fuel that keeps you going on when challenges arise. You will stand when you face a roadblock, you cannot attend classes. When you remember why you started, and you will continue, you will find yours. Step 2, the reality audit. An honest assessment of your current season is critical. No guilt, no just clarity. So my Nova Scotian salon audit. So I had to assess my lock expertise. I had to go through training, like I said before. I had to build a community relationship with the women out there that are making hair, people that have been there, the community leaders. And I was passionate about. Yes, I didn't have money. I didn't have the capital to start, but I started from my living room. I started with nothing. That's the truth. So some people say, oh, I can't start this business because I don't have money. It's a lie. There are certain things that you can start without money. And that's the truth. All I needed was a tool, my lock tools and a comb, but maybe a few hair products. But as I went on, I was consistent. Everything I used to set up the salon is from the business. Of course, I applied for loan, but that loan came because I had put a structure. I had a registered business. I had my financials. So they were able to look through that and able to fund me, you know. So what is the season of life? Could I manage the time commitment? What support did I need? I needed support from my family. So I had to agree that I don't do hair on weekends. At a certain point, I used to do hair every day because I wanted to build a clientele. But now, weekends, I don't do hair I only start doing my hair from 12 to 6 because I needed morning time. That's my goal. One part of my vision is to spend time with family. So that has to be done. And Sundays, no hair at all. I go to church, come back, spend time with family, and do something else, but not hair. Then your turn. Go audit your goal, landscape, resources, constraints, and current capacity with honesty. That can be done after this presentation, maybe on the WhatsApp group. Set 3. So the backup map on the goal setting. You have to go from your end to the beginning, right? So a thriving lock salon, I already saw it, see that I'm doing stuff. Then a major milestone, within 1 year, I said, I'll open the salon, then get my first client booked, which is what I did. The salon is will be a year in July, yes. But before I got to where I am, I went to school. I did 6 months training, and I registered my business within that first 6 months. For me, I didn't have to get a place because I had a little space in my basement. So I used that, but it wasn't set up. Within the first 3 months, I registered my business. I don't have suppliers for contract, but these are things that we can put in your own plan. I order stuff from Amazon, or I also buy from other people who have salon, people in the community, because you have to build partnership, right? And then today, and also researched best Halifax neighborhood salons for my clients, research best Halifax neighborhood for my clients. Yes, as in where are my clients? Where are they located? There are certain places here. I know that these are my clients. So I will tell people who live there, tell people around that environment that I do here. They could be around your neighborhood. But my clients are diverse. I don't limit myself to only Nigerians or only Black people or only Caucasians. It's broad. So for you as participants, start with the end vision and work backwards to identify the exact next step. See the place where you want to, then start working backwards. What are the things you need to do? Like I said earlier, if you have to go to school, go to school. If you have to start with 1 client, 3 clients within a week, start that. Tell people about it. Create your advert, put it on your WhatsApp, whatever you need to do. But those goals, those steps, those actions, there are your goals towards achieving your main vision. I wanted to show us a video, but time will not permit. I'll probably share the link on the WhatsApp group. So the next 4. So align your action planning. For my example, I researched about salons in Canada. I know they don't have a lot of salons in Nova Scotia where I stayed, where I live currently. So it's really very challenging to book appointments with hairstylists. That's why most people, when they come as immigrants, they either cut their hair or they lock it. And I know there's a lot of immigrants coming into town at this time. So a lot of people want to get their hair locks. So I have built a clientele. Then register a business name alongside post on community group with your unique niche in hair making. I don't say I braid hair. If you see my post, I will only say I do locks. So I have to limit that, streamline it. It's not broad. I'm not telling people I make everybody say no. Once you know me, I make locks. If that's what you want to get done, that's me. But if you want something else, I'll refer you to someone else. Register. I also register with the apprenticeship from Nova Scotia because you won't want to get into the back books of the government. So I have to register my business, and I also will be paying my tax this tax year because this is just my first year. I did my exam within the first 8 months because these are goals and vision that I started last year. So I did my exam after my classes for 6 months. After that 6 months, within the 8 months, I made sure I did my exams, and God helped me to pass. Then I set up my salon in my basement for now, but it's going to grow out of that place. But this is where I'm starting. I'm not in a hurry to go out there to open shop. You have to know yourself and what you can take at a certain time of your life. My next plan is to get more equipment. I need some tools, get a business plan so I can get more loans, grants. There are grant opportunities out there for Black business owners. Get a website so I can book in clients effectively, because sometimes I double book because I'm using my WhatsApp, which is not sustainable if I want to sustain the business. Okay. So there are roadblocks towards achieving your vision or your goals. So it could be, I don't have enough money. Like I said, I started with little or no amount. I said of what I had, the tools I had at home. Yeah, you could say, okay, I'm a Black person, I'm new. Get into the community, make friends with people that are in the community, tell them what you do. And what if I fail? What if you fail? You start from where you failed and continue. You get yourself up and continue. Redefine your vision. Ask yourself again, is this you? Is it what you're passionate about? Like I said earlier, does this inspire you? Is this my purpose in life? If not, then redefine yourself. If you're setting that vision alone to make money, then you're going to fail, because that money will come and you'll be empty inside. Okay? I need to see thumbs up to know that I'm communicating. Then what are your support system? My support system is my family members. I have a mentor in the music in the beauty industry, and then I follow some people online. And then skills I need to develop right now is my bookkeeping. So these are things I'll put in my goals, my first 3 months goals, to say, okay, how to get my bookkeeping done, make sure I have my income and expense accounts done clearly for proper filing of tax. Ensure I book clients even before they leave. That way I know there's consistency in my business. These are all my goals for my business. Then non-negotiable self-care. I need to rest, because if anything happens to me, then the business will fail at this point in time, because there's nobody else. I don't have a staff yet, but these are my goals. Hopefully before the end of the year, I'll have an apprentice that will be paid by the business and also pay myself salary. Okay. Thank you, Ezekiel, for that. Okay, so from my journey to yours, your goal is unique, and the process is proven. The same framework that moved me from a dream to a salon plan can work for you, your leadership goals. Whether it's a promotion, launching a department, starting a business, or shifting your career, it's possible. So these are the summary of points that we discussed. We define goals. We talk about the characteristics of goals, which has to be SMART. Then we did an audit of the assess of what we have to achieve our vision, because your goals are actions that you take to achieve your vision. Then a clarity statement for your core goals. I said if you don't have a vision and mission statements, then that can be another class that we can use to define that for us to help us. Then I talked about my action plan, a map for how I set up my salon and where I am and the goals I have achieved and I'm still working on. And a support and strategy plan to navigate obstacle, which is inspire yourself. If you fall today, get up and start again. Thank you. Any questions? Maybe they can put their questions in the chat. Okay, someone said you should explain dreams, visions, and goals again. So come on, maybe you might want to respond to that. What's the difference between dream, visions, and goals?
So your dream is that very loud aspiration that is in your mind that you've lived in. So for instance, one dream that many of us have is that we should be financially free. We have financial freedom. Okay, financial freedom is the ability to buy anything you want or get anything you want with little or no effort, because you already are financially free. That's a dream. Okay. Then in terms of your vision is in 2026, since my dream is to be financially free, in 2026, my vision is to build financial knowledge and systems. And then if it is to build financial knowledge and systems, that's my vision, my 3-year vision. So it's a vision I will have for 3 years, for 2026, 2027, 2028. So in 2026, my goal will now be, One, to read every financial book that comes my way, understand how money works, understand financial systems, and begin to take baby basic steps. Okay, so for some of us, when you read those things, your baby steps may now be you learn how to save, how to do basic investments, how to keep money, how to only buy what you need and not just, but how to keep money, how to budget. This may be a goal that you will have in 2026 to make sure that you are able to implement your vision and then get to your dream. When you have done this visioning for 10 years, you find out that by the time you are in your 7th, 8th, or 9th year, you will actually become financially free because you've been consistent, you've been building on it, and you've been implementing your goals, which fits into your long or short-term vision. I don't know whether this explains it. So you write down what is that dream you have. Yes. Somebody is speaking.
Yes, she asked whether it makes sense. It does. It does. The explanation has made a lot.
Yeah, so write out that your dream, couch visions around it, and set some goals around it. Faith used her experience. She worked many years in Nigeria as a development person, doing a lot of high level complex projects implementation around the country, adding value to governments and communities. So when she went to Canada, she decided to do something different. Okay, but she also knows that if you use the same principles, you will get the same kind of results. So instead of being a worker, she now owns a business. She may call it Lux Saloon or anything, but she owns a business that she's building. So in this year, what is your goal? Do you have a goal for this January? What you're doing this January? Do you have a goal for the first quarter? So you sit down, you do some of this, you put it on the group, we will review it and give you feedbacks. This presentation will also drop it on the group. Do you have questions? If you don't do some work on you, then you will remain where you are. Sessions are useful only when you practice, only when you apply the knowledge, only when you are determined to get value. Like I said, 3 habits only is what you need to implement this year if you want to, and you become a stalwart in it. If you have 3 goals, just 3 goals this year, you make sure those goals that you meet it. You can have 3 goals in this first quarter. By next quarter, you set another set of goals like that, and you will see that you will be remarkable. It's not what I will do for you because you know yourself more than I do. So strategy is important. So if you do all this goal setting, you know your values, you know your priorities, you know yourself. If you don't have a strategy, there's a problem. And there's a huge difference between being busy and being strategic. So it demands that you design actions that serve your vision and not to overwhelm you. It's going back to what I said. Okay? So your strategy focuses on the direction, the priorities, and the choices. Why your to-do list? A lot of us have to-do lists. There are tasks that you do every day. Your to-do lists are endless. But your strategies are intentional. They are vision-based. They are focused. They are not endless. So your question is, what keeps me busy that doesn't move my vision forward? Which activities truly contribute to my long-term direction? So your long-term direction may be that this year you want to start a business. You really want to start that business. So what will be the activities you want to do? You want to research about that business. You want to read about it. You want to learn about it. You want to sit down and write your strategy, your business plan. You want someone to handhold you, okay? Or you started that NGO, that non-profit organization, and you're not getting grants. You're not, everything is not working. You need support. This year, it's for you to go read about it, find that support, and apply, follow through. One of the things I did last year with my online business was I got in and I got a mentor who is handholding me, and I'm following through. So where do I need to choose focus over volume? Focus over volume. Focus is what takes you to the vision. Volume keeps you busy. So you need to do this strategic focus filter. So you list 10 tasks you do. How does this task support my vision? So which one do I keep? Which one do I delegate? And which one do I drop? So usually I will tell myself, as a chief executive, there are things you do. What serves you is what you keep. What only you can do. The activities only you can do. The others that others can do for you can delegate. But activities only you can do. Then there are activities that don't add to anything. They're just a few good activities. You can drop it. You can delay it. Okay? So this also a tool. I told you that women in Leadership Global, what we do is we provide tools that you can use to do some of this analysis for yourself, because this is you. This is you building you. So resources, Madam Faith talked about resources as well. Resources are needed. So you already have more resources than you realize. And you need to identify gaps that require intentional support. So vision without resource leads to frustration. Resources are not just money. They are time, skills, network, support. When I realized this last year, anytime I have an opportunity, I start writing. So I have like 3 or 4 manuscripts. I have a new book that came out last year, the Women in Leadership Journal. The Women Leadership Journal, rather. Is a 31-day journal that gives you every day. You have a focus for the day, and then you have reflexive questions. You have affirmations that can help you in 31 days. If you are afraid of leadership, whether it's leading yourself or leading others, you don't understand leadership. In 31 days, which is about 1 month, you will definitely be someone who can even teach other people, and your voice will be heard. So I spent time and I started doing it. And there are other works that are yet to be published as well. Women in Leadership, Women Leadership Journal has been published, and I'm excited. And also an ebook that I wrote on definitive steps for funding for nonprofit organizations. So you can do this personal resource mapping. So this personal resource mapping, how many hours per week can I realistically dedicate to my vision? When is my highest energy? My energy is highest. So skills, what are the skills you already have? What are the skills that you need? You may need to upskill. Okay? Networks. People that can support you emotionally, people that can support you strategically, community and platforms you can leverage on. Women in Leadership Global is a community you can leverage on. It's a new community, and this is the time to join. This is the time to lead. This is the time to step in. So you have your resource mapping table. You look at different resources. There's support, time, and skill. What do I have now? Tell yourself what you have now, whether it's adequate. What do you need, and what will be your next step? Your next step is the action you will take. If you do all this and you don't take action, it will all be like, you went to the stream, you got water, or you went to an ocean, you fetched a bucket of water, and you came on the road and poured it away, which will be a waste, which will not be helpful. So let's then talk about dealing with fear and risk. There's risk in everything. And if you don't take action, you may not know what the risk will be. There's risk in everything. So you don't wait till everything is in place. You just start. You just begin. And the greatest fear people have is the fear of if it does not work. But have you asked yourself, what of if it works? What of if you become the greatest out of it? So what are inner barriers, inadequacies? Some people will say, hey, there are people that know it. No, there's nobody that knows. All of them, everybody has one head. They don't have two. So you deal with it and you build confidence. Okay, you build your confidence. Some confidence markers is you do affirmation. You speak to yourself. I'm an owner of that owner of that bookshop. I'm an owner of that business. I'm and all that. So you build confidence. Journaling can help you build confidence. Affirmation can help you build confidence. Action is the greatest thing that helps you build confidence. You say you go to that meeting, you get up, you go on time. You say you write that article, you get up, you write it, whether you understand it or not. You'd say you will write 500 words every day to recap your day. You do it every day. Over 1 month, you have articles for your blog. So this how to do things and how to work it out. Please, any questions? Let's take some questions and feedbacks. Okay, somebody asked, what kind of realistic goal should a middle-aged woman set for financial freedom and life after retirement? This is excellent. So after retirement, I expect that you must be in your 60s if you're a civil servant, or maybe close to 60. And if you're a public servant, you will be in your 70s. So realistic goals you can set, financial goals, is one could be really learning how to invest. Learning how to invest. The money you have now, can you do a budget around it? A budget around it. What budgets can you do? What do you spend on every day? Family, households, expenditures that are realistic. Okay? This is not the time to buy many clothes, buy many shoes. What are those realistic things? Food is realistic. Water is realistic. Electricity is. So these are your consumables. You do that. Then the next thing is that the money you have that you're not using, you go and invest it. You can invest in stock, in the stock market. Okay? You can invest in stock markets. You can also buy property with it. And if, for instance, you already have properties, you go and look through those properties, land, ensure that you may have to fence it or something, take possession, your house, or places where you collect rent. These are important elements that you can look at. Then you read some books on finance that gives you an understanding. Then another thing that you also need to do as part of financial freedom is to give. Giving is part of what you should do. Giving some part of your income. Okay, if you're Muslim, usually they do zakat. If you're Christian, they also do tithe, and they do other kinds of giving. So giving could also be, but you give consistently from every fund you get. Okay, you give a bit of it. Can give 10%, can give 20%, depending. These help you to, but you're consistent about it. When you invest in stock, you read about the stock market, you understand it, you learn how to read financial audit documents. They're a bit boring though, but you can learn how to read them. Then you also need to have goals on health, very critical for your financial freedom. You're taking a walk, you're eating right, so that your mind and your spirit will be together. Because if you're anxious, you become unwell, you cannot reach financial freedom. These are some examples I can give. I don't know whether that helps. Question: what kind of realistic goal? Okay, I've dealt with that question. Any other questions? Any other questions or comment? The floor is open. Comments, questions? The floor is open. Ask your questions.
Hello, ma'am.
Yes, Lola.
I would love to share my story and also ask a question.
Sorry, we can't hear you. We can't hear you.
Hello, can you hear me?
I'm not sure. Yes, it's very low. So please, if you don't want to speak, you can write your questions on the chat box, ask your questions, and please join our WhatsApp group. We sent you the link, and for some of you also, we sent you invites. Join the WhatsApp group. Let's ask questions. Let's handhold you. Let's work with you. If you run an NGO, it's an excellent one. If you work in management, it's an excellent one. If you work in politics, amazing. If you work in governance. So these are things, these are elements that we could help and we could leverage on each other. So please ask your question. So Lola, please, you have the floor.
Hi, can you hear me, Mama?
Yes,
Hello?
please.
Yes, we can.
I wanted to share a bit of my story and ask a question.
Okay, can you be a bit louder?
Okay. So, one of my goals, hello everyone, my name is Lola, and one of my goals is to relocate my family to Canada. So, I was excited hearing the speaker talk about the fact that she's living here and she started her own salon. So, I've had that goal for a while and I've been very intentional about it. I've been saving. So, but the funds were not enough. I had to look for ways I could like earn more money.
Mm-hmm.
Now, I didn't have a plan prior to that.
You don't have what?
I didn't have a plan prior to that. I didn't have an actual plan of how to increase the money I had at hand. So there was this one of my friends that introduced me to a business and we did the business together. I gave her all the funds that were in my hand as at the time. Eventually she reached out to me to tell me that she was scammed and for over a year now, going to 2 years already, we've not had anything concerning the money. Like all the steps we took to recover the money has been in vain. Since then, because it was my goal, I really I couldn't give up. I still had to look for ways to still start all over again. And that was what led me to take up a course at Neva Open University. I'm currently running my master's in public administration. So I'm trying to increase my CRS score and see if I can apply for a PR. So now my question
apply for what?
For a PR.
Okay.
So
your question is?
How do what advice do you give to someone that is starting over, especially if probably they have a vision and they are working strategically concerning, even though there are challenges and probably they've made mistakes, there might be discouragement along the way. Sometimes people will even say, oh, maybe you are not meant to go through that route, but you know that that is your vision, like you really want to achieve that. What advice will you give someone that really wants to start all over again and is facing challenges?
So you want me to respond to that, right?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay,
yes, please.
Okay, so my advice is for you to start again. But first of all, I have certain questions I'm asking. This relocation that you want to relocate, are you in alignment with your husband? First of all, are you married with your husband? Hello, can you hear me?
Just speak. Just speak.
Yes,
Just speak because you're talking to a lot more people.
Okay. Yes, it's just because she's targeted, because I wanted to say something about agreements. And these are spiritual things. We're spiritual people. So there are certain things, if you're not in alignment with your husband, there are certain things that you cannot achieve. And that's the truth. For me to be here, it took 16 years for me to accomplish this dream. I've been here for 3 years now, but it took 16 years before I got married. I was praying about it. I researched. At that time, I didn't have money, nothing. But I prayed about it and said, God, if this is your will, then whoever you're going to give to me to get married. I wasn't even married. So when people were saying, okay, you japad, I said, no, this is not japa. I had this dream. It's just that it happened to happen when a lot of people were leaving. And I can still come back to Nigeria when the time is right. So it has to be aligned with my husband. We prayed about it. And it took us another how many years into our marriage? It took us another, this is our 18 years of marriage. It took us another 15 years, let's say 10 extra to get to where we were. But even when we got married, before we got married, I'm saying this to get to a point to advise you. Even when we talked about it before we got married, we agreed. But a certain time came when my husband was like, don't even talk about this. Are you suffering? You're not suffering. You have food. So why do you want to leave? Until I said, you know what, God? I went back to God. I said, God, you know what? I'm not going to talk about this to him again. I'm just going to leave it. So if it's your will for us to relocate, then you're going to put it in his heart. Not just that, you're also going to provide, because it's very capital intensive. And God answered my prayers. He started being in alignment after October 21st, when we had that killings at Lekki, those of us that are in Nigeria. He just came back home and said, where did you stop? What do you need? And I already knew what I knew. In fact, I was talking like a consultant. I already researched. I knew the different pathways that were available to go, whether it was provincial, or it was express entry. I knew everything. I knew the different provinces. I didn't know exactly where I wanted to go, but I know this is how this place are. Then God now made provision financially. I started working with a company that was paying me in dollars. Suddenly, and I've been working in Nigerian companies, but suddenly everything started to work once I was in alignment with my partner, my husband. I don't like using the word partner because they use that a lot here when they're not married, sorry. So we started praying. So Bible says 1 shall chase 1,000, 2 shall chase 10,000. We prayed a lot. We paid money, different people. We lost some money here, lost some money, but we were careful. We didn't just give money out to anybody. It's sad that you had to lose that money. But then again, we should have researched before investing that money. It was your friend. You wanted to help. It's okay. So take back to God and ask God, God, this is what I did. What are you saying? Are you leading me into this place? Do you really want me to relocate? If yes, then make things work. I've put in a lot of hard work. And from hearing you, I can see that you're very hardworking. You're saving, because this is very capital intensive. You have to, and school fees, if you're coming to school, is very expensive. I'm not going to lie. Even those that are here are still owing. People that are here are still paying, not to talk of you that is coming out from the country. So my advice to you is, first of all, be sure that you have heard God, you have peace, you're in alignment with your husband. Then what are you working on saving on? How do you want to build back that money again? What investments are you putting in place? What are you doing? Is it your salary? The salary might not work. Do you have somewhere to borrow money from your bank and then you have a repayment plan? Remember, when you come here, you're owing somebody. You have to do a plan to pay them back. Otherwise, they're going to mess you up later by maybe harassing you, pay my money. So those plans has to be in place. If you're doing business, then tell yourself, how much in capital do I need for my school fees? How much do I save every month? Back then, I was saving 1,000. I was saving almost on my salary. I only spent maybe like 20% of my salary. So I was saving 80% of my salary every month. I wasn't buying clothes. I'm not even that kind of person that is into designer wearing and all that. But I cut my quota according to my size. Thankfully, I was working from home. So I wasn't spending money on fuel. I only went out to pick my kids from school because school wasn't far from home. I didn't have a nanny again. I stopped having nanny a year before so that I can organize myself, got my children to start learning how to do chores so that it wasn't going to be a cultural shock, because there's a lot of culture shock. Even I'm still learning the culture shock here as I am. But financially, that is what you need. You have to set a plan. Is there a bank that you can loan money from? And what is your repayment plan? It might not be all that clear. But first of all, it has to be that peace that you have from God and say, yes, God is saying, this is what I want you to do, and I'm going to go with you. And you see him make provision. Like I said, I didn't have the total money, but suddenly I had a job that was paying me in dollars. Suddenly it just opened, I applied. Because like Akoma said, I'm non-for-profit. I didn't know how to do business. I'm still learning how to do business now. I was doing non-for-profit. So I didn't know how to save. You get money, your salary, you just spend everything. My husband had to say, you know what, madam, 80% of your salary, you have to save it. You're only allowed to spend 20%. If you spend more than that, then we're not going anywhere. And I have to ask myself, do I want to move forward or not? I want to move forward. So I had to consciously cut out a lot of expenses. Once the salary comes, I save it, I put it somewhere separate so I don't spend it, because I know I can easily just spend. Or if someone asks, oh, I need this, it just goes there. So you're building that amount. Then continue to research about where you're going. What are the different options that are cheap? For us, when we engaged the consultants, we went for the cheap option. He had various options, but we went for what we could afford. And we're here today. We're almost concluding the final part of why we came in the first place, So this is my advice to you. Don't give up. Go to God again in prayer. Make sure you're in alignment with your husband, because if two does not agree, you're not going anywhere. You're still going to be going backwards, because as I said, why did you lose that money? What did you do wrong? Is it that you didn't research your friend? If you're giving money to somebody to borrow, make sure the person is going to pay you back. If you know the person is not going to pay you back, then give the person the amount that even if the person doesn't pay you back, you're okay. That's how I deal. That's how I do my thing. If I want to borrow somebody money, if I know you can't pay me back, I will give you what I know that even if you can't pay me back, I'm not going to be bothered. But if I know that you're someone that is going to pay me back, I can see you're working, then I will loan you that money. Yeah. Then you can't be loaning someone money when you need to save up that money. I don't know if I got answered your question. If anybody else has something to say, we can also advise.
Okay, so as we begin to close, thank you so much for that. This year, 2026, one of the major takeaway you must have from here is to clearly define what your vision is. There are some vision examples in the slides. We will drop it in the WhatsApp group. Please join the WhatsApp group so that you can just download these presentations, answer the questions, work out your information, and share it so that we can help you look through them. Then the other critical thing you must do is to set your goal for the year. I will set my goals. I will share some of my goals on the. We'll be speaking to us about nonprofit work, and it's specifically for people who work in nonprofits. So if you work in nonprofit, I would share that update and send it to you. Please register and then join. It's also free. We're not doing it free because we don't understand that money is important, but it's because we understand that. So thank you very much. Is there anyone who wants to say anything? In the absence of that, I want to say thank you. We had about 90 minutes of time or thereabouts with all the network issues, but thank you for being here. And join the WhatsApp group, build yourself. Let's share our skills with your experience and leverage knowledge together. Thank you very much and have a beautiful day. Bye.